Hello, and today we're going to be talking about mean. There has been a previous video on mean, and if you have not checked it out yet, please go ahead and watch that video first. Today, what we're primarily going to be talking about is how we find missing numbers from the set of data given the mean. So we're going to review what is a mean, and then we're going to talk about how we're going to find a missing data point given the mean. Alright, so first things first, a quick review. Definition: a mean is the average of the set of numbers, and we can find the mean by first finding the sum of numbers. That means we add up all the numbers in the set of data, and two, divide that number, the sum, by how many data sets or data elements there are. Alright, now what we are going to be talking about today is finding the missing data point given the mean. And how we do that is by following four steps. 1. List what you know. 2. Set up an equation to solve the missing value. 3. Solve for the missing value. And 4. Check your answer. So I repeat, list what you know, set up an equation to solve the missing value, solve the missing value, and check your answer. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and show you how these steps work by using this example right here. If we read the problem, it says that the mean is 39, and we have a set of data that has x, which is going to be our missing element, our mystery element, 56, 34, 44, 52, 12, 34, and 45. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at this set, and we know that what we want to do is find what x is. So we're going to go on to step 1, list what you know. Well, we know that the mean is 39 given the problem, and there are 8 data elements. And the reason why we know there's 8 is because we can count them out. X is 1, 56 is 2, 34 is 3, 44 is 4, 52 is 5, 12 is 6, 34 is 7, and 45 makes 8. So there's 8 data elements. So now we list what we know. We know the set of numbers, we know the mean, and we know how many numbers are in that set of data. So step 2, set up an equation to solve the missing values. If you remember, the formula for mean is the sum divided by how many numbers are in the set. Well, if you remember, sum means addition. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the entire set and add them all together, and then divide all that by 8. And set that equal to the mean, which is 39. As you can see, the equation's right there. X plus 56 plus 34 plus 44 plus 52 plus 12 plus 34 plus 45 make up the numerator, and all that just comes from the set of data, and it's all over 8, meaning divided by 8, because there's 8 numbers in the set of data. And we set that equal to 39 because 39 is our mean. So now we have set up our equation to solve for a missing number. And as you can see, our missing number is represented by x. So what we're going to do is move on to step 3, solve for the missing value. Now, how we're going to do that is by first simplifying things down. And we're going to simplify the numerator. That means we're going to add all the stuff we can add together. We're going to add the 56 to the 34 to the 44 to the 52 to the 12 to the 34 and the 45. Right. And when we add all that up, which you can see I just changed to black, that's what we're going to add up to simplify, because we can add those together. We're going to end up with x plus 277 over 8 equals 39. So I add it all up and I rewrite the problem now. So we simplify the numerator as much as we can, because we can't add 6 and 277 together because x is a variable. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to multiply both sides of the equation by the denominator. In other words, we're going to multiply both sides by 8 because that's our denominator. As you can see, I just darkened it right now, 8, so we can easily see. Remember, denominator means the bottom half of the fraction. Now the reason why we're going to multiply is because the multiplication gets rid of the division. We're dividing by 8 in our problem, so if we multiply by 8, they cancel out. And so we're going to go ahead and write that out. As you can see, we rewrote the problem now with times 8 on both sides of the equal sign. Now, those 8, since one's dividing by 8 and the other one's multiplying 8, those are going to go ahead and cancel out. And now all we're going to do is take the 39 times 8, and that's going to give us 312. Right. So the dividing by 8, multiplying 8 cancel out, and the 39 times 8 gets us 312. So now we have the problem x plus 277 equals 312. Alright. Now with this, we're going to work on to figure out what x is, and how we're going to do that is by subtracting both sides of the equation by the sum. Alright. What that means is that plus 277 right over there, we're going to get rid of that by subtracting. Since we're adding 277 to x, we're going to subtract 277 to x. So we're going to head and set it up to where we have x plus 277 minus 277 equals 312 minus 277. When we do to one side of the equal sign, we always have to do the other. That's why we have the minus 277s to both sides. Now, the reason why we minus by 277 is because what it's going to do is going to cancel out that plus 277. So if you notice the plus 277 minus 277, I'm just going to cross out. And all that's left there is x. So we have x equals now on the left-hand side. Now what we're going to do is figure out the right, and all we're going to do is the 312 minus 277, just some basic math, and we get 35. So in the end, we end up with x equals 35. Alright, so now what we want to do, since we have the solution for x, we want to make sure it's correct. And so what we're going to do is we're going to check our answer. Well, the easiest thing to do to check our answer is plug that 35 into our set of data and see if our mean actually is 39. So we're going to plug that 35 in to the set of data. So notice I replaced the x with 35 in our equation. So now I have the entire sum of the set of data all over 8 equals 39. We're going to see if that's true. So I'm going to add up the entire numerator, and I see I get 312 over 8 now equals 39. I just brought everything with me. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the 312 divided by 8, and that gives me 39. And I in fact end up with 39 equals 39. So since both the left and right are actually the same, we know it's correct, hence my green check mark. So our answer is x equals 35. Right. So to review, what we did was we took our set, came up with what we knew. So we knew the mean was 39 given what it told us in the problem, and we counted up how many numbers there are in the set, and we included the variable x, and we said there was 8. Since of that, we used what we knew about the mean. The mean is the sum of all the data divided by how many there are. So we set up the equation x plus 56 plus 34 plus 44 plus 52 plus 12 plus 34 plus 45 all over 8. And we set it equal to 39 because that's what the mean was. From there, we added up everything we could in the numerator together to get x plus 27 over 8 equals 39. After that, we had to get rid of the dividing by 8, so we multiplied 8 from both sides, and that left us with x plus 27 equals 312. Then we had to subtract 127 from both sides to get rid of that plus 207, d7. And that's how we ended up with x equals 35, which was our answer. We checked our work by actually doing the mean and seeing if it actually came up with 39. And it did, so we knew x equals 35 is our answer. Alright, so that's everything you do for this. So I want to see and make sure that you know what you're doing. So what I have here are 3 examples. I want you to try these 3 examples out. When you have your answer, I want you to unpause the video after I tell you to. I'm sorry, after I told you to pause it, I should say. And we will go over all the answers and all the work together. Alright, so go ahead and pause the video now and do your work. Alright, welcome back. So as you can see, I have the 3 problems still up on the screen. Each one with a set, and each one with a given mean. And each set contains a variable. 1 contains x, 2 contains y, and 3 contains z. and your job is to figure out what that variable equals. Now if you take a look, I have all the work right there. First thing I do is I set up the equation for mean for each and every one. Notice the first one is the sum of everything divided by 7 equals 31. This number 2 is the sum of everything divided by 6 equals 48. And number 3 is the sum of everything in the set divided by 9 equals 27. From there I add up everything I can, and that's how I end up with x plus 139 over 7 equals 31 for number 1. Number 2, I end up with y equals 202 over 6 equals 48. And number 3, I end up with z over 211 divided by 9 equals 27. From there, I multiply by the denominator. So for number 1, I multiply both sides by 7. Number 2, I multiply both sides by 6. And number 3, I multiply both sides by 9. Doing that, I end up with x plus 193 equals 217 for number 1. Y plus 202 equals 288 for number 2, and z plus 211 equals 248 for number 3. Next, I have to subtract by the sum in order to get x by itself. So for number 1, I'm subtracting 193 from both sides. Number 2, I'm subtracting 202 from both sides. And number 3, I'm subtracting 211 from both sides. And what I end up with is an answer of x equals 24, y equals 86, and z equals 32. I checked my answers by just plugging it in and seeing if it worked, and it did in fact work. That's why I have the answer equals x equals 24, y equals 86, and z equals 32. Alright, that's it for this video. You can review it at any time as much as you want, and have a great day. I look forward to seeing you next time.